你们好. Hi guys, in this lesson we're going to study a radical silk thread, or another meaning, silk. But the main meaning is thread, silk thread. This radical we never use as a separate word, it's always part of a character. So let's study the first form, which is always below in characters. When we draw stroke to the left to this form, in this case it will be a character which means to tie. And it's a separate word, di. And the second form, which is always on the left, it is always also a part of the character. We never use it as a separate word. We draw it on the left. And for example, there is a word with 2 silk threads, and you can guess that it means silk thread. Now let's see how we draw this radical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the second form, 1, 2, 3. And now let's study its history. In the past, we see there was a picture of a silk cocoon. So it's a thing, in this thing a worm lives and then becomes, afterwards, after some time, it becomes a butterfly. And this cocoon is covered with silk saliva. It's kind of thread, and then Chinese produce silk thread and then silk cloth from these threads. And then in time we see that this cocoon changed quite dramatically, and nowadays it looks like half of the Christmas tree. Now let's study characters with silk thread. And the first example is lei, to be tied. And we see silk thread below. So still, silk production is a very complicated hand work job, and of course it's tiring. That's why in to be tied we see silk thread. The second example is a word xian, thread, and in this case it's any thread or string. And let me remind that this form is always on the left. And the third example is a word feng, to sew, and when we sew, we use thread. As we said before, this radical is never used as a separate word, but we would like to give you an example anyway with a word, silk, silk thread. So we would like to underline it's a separate word, not radical. The first example is a word si lu, silk, lu, road. And you can guess it's a word, silk road. And the second example is a very useful word for girls. It's si wa, stockings. Si, silk, wa, socks. Stockings together. They were produced from silk. And the third example is a word tie si, which means iron wire. So tie, iron, si, silk thread. Together, iron wire. Thank you guys for watching this useful lesson. Stay with us to be informed about our next lesson. Push this bell button, and we wish you to study Chinese so well that you will use it to become quite rich and always wear silk clothes. And in our next lesson we're going to study a radical insect, 虫. 谢谢，再见。